Hey everybody, Chris Fafalius here. If you enjoy One Hit Thunder, which I'm assuming you do considering you're listening to it right now, I want to tell you about another great music podcast on the Evergreen Podcast Network. It's called Riffs on Riffs. On this season of Riffs on Riffs, hosts Toby Braswell and Joe Watson are breaking down one iconic pop song each week. Everything from Taylor Swift's Cruel Summer to Journey's Don't Stop Believin' to Naughty by Nature's OPP. Each week, they crack open the song, trace its history, decode those cryptic lyrics, and unearth the hidden gems in its musical DNA. Not only do they dive into the song's history, lyrics, and impact, they also go down some fun and oftentimes hilarious rabbit holes. So yeah, if you're a fan of One Hit Thunder, I think you'll also enjoy Riffs on Riffs. So go hit that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your pods.
PenFed Free Checking offers zero fees and zero balance requirements for zero hassle. PenFed Access America Checking lets you earn money on your balance for dreams big and small. Choose the best account for you and start making the most of your money. Learn more at PenFed.org. Federally insured by NCUA. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed Credit Union.
I'm too sexy for my love, too sexy for my love, love's going to leave me.
This week, we're taking a little turn on the catwalk with special guest PJ Caruso as we dive into the early 90s phenomenon that is Right Said Fred's I'm Too Sexy. PJ decided that it had been too long since we last covered a truly novelty track, and this one tops the charts in that category. It's almost baffling that we have to say this, but if you're listening to this in the UK, you already know that Right Said Fred is far from a one-hit wonder in their home country. The history of Right Said Fred is a roller coaster full of twists, turns, and some surprisingly dark moments. Join us to find out if Right Said Fred is too sexy for this podcast.
I'm too sexy for your party, too sexy for your party. No way I'm disco dancing.
One hit is all you need to make the money guaranteed, and you can live off royalties forever. And it makes me wonder, is it just a wonder, or is it one hit thunder?
PJ, welcome back to the show. I know you're a wrestling fan, and I bring that up because never have we had someone take such a heel turn as Right Said Fred, as the guys in Right Said Fred, who I never in a million years. We don't have to talk about that yet. Let's talk about the band first. But
yeah, they made some statements.
So some interesting choices.
Yeah, they made some choices later on in life
in recent years. But we all know Right Said Fred as the I'm Too Sexy guys. Two bald guys. You know I love my bald brethren out there, but. They were guys that sang about being sexy, and you couldn't avoid this song in the early 90s.
No, you couldn't. And I mean, I was 6 when this song was at its peak, and I knew this song. Mm-hmm. As a kid who didn't know anything that was happening in the world whatsoever because I was 6, I could not escape I'm Too Sexy.
I'm trying to remember if I liked the song. I probably liked it. The first time I saw it and heard it, I was probably like, oh, that's funny. And then by the 1,000th time I heard it, I was like, this is terrible.
I think even as a kid, the first time I heard it, I didn't think it was real.
Yeah.
It's crazy that this was a song to begin with, let alone a song that was massive.
What's your relationship with the Right Said Fred, PJ?
I mean, I just think that it was novelty, and I thought it was funny.
Yeah, right.
I didn't it wasn't a song that you liked or disliked. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could dislike it based on the fact that you found the song annoying and you didn't want anything to do with it. But I think it's just popcorn. It's just fun. It's just something to put on a T-shirt.
Yeah. Well, so the thing that blew my mind, and then credit where credit's due, when we do the research for this, we pull from as many sources as we can for information. Every once in a while, I'll pull from a Todd in the Shadows video. He does something similar to what we do on YouTube. And he said this sentence, and I'm going to repeat this sentence. And what he said was, if there was one artist in the history of one-hit wonders where you would think they have to have been a one-hit wonder in every single country across the globe, it would be this one. And you would be wrong.
Yeah.
Right Said Fred's popularity in Europe is insane.
And it makes sense because, like, when you listen to the style of music and you think about Europe,
Yeah.
right? It's very, very European. But I was just actually impressed that they're actual musicians.
Yeah.
And so, like, I would have just thought, oh, they're just two guys that
And like
did
legit
novelty, like PJ said, made a novelty song.
the main guy, Richard, played as he was a session bassist for Boy George, Mick Jagger, David Bowie, and even appeared as the guitarist in the Bob Dylan movie Hearts of Fire.
Yeah, who would have thought that Right Said Fred had so much cred?
Yeah. He's right said cred.
Yeah.
Well, I remember the bass in the video, which I thought was just kind of like a gimmick. Like he was just playing the bass.
Right.
But also then it's funny because it reminded me a lot of thinking that someone was using a bass mostly as a prop, but then you find out they're actually awesome at bass, like Kip Winger.
Yeah.
Like I remember in the She's Only 17 video, I remember like thinking like, why does he have his bass?
Yeah.
And then you come to find out that he's this amazing bass player who played with all these people.
I mean, at some point in this podcast, maybe sooner rather than later, we're going to have to talk about Mr. Big. And like the bassist of Mr. Big was like for 3 years in a row voted Guitar World's best bassist.
Billy Sheehan,
yeah,
right?
yeah, Billy Sheehan. Like,
Is he even in the biggest song? Is there bass in Just to Be With You?
I don't think that.
Yeah.
that's how the song starts.
Okay.
It's like how the drummer gets like those 4 kick drum notes in the song, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, well, Chris, you sent me a link.
I did.
and you said this seems like some shit you would like, which is where they got their name. They got their name from a novelty song called Right Said Fred, which was a hit single for the singer and actor Bernard Cribbins in 1962. And Chris, I did not know the song before you sent it to me, but you're right, because I love the shit out of that song.
Yeah, I mean, it's just exactly as stupid as I would imagine something you would like would be.
Right said Fred, both of us together, one each end and steady as we go. Tried to shift it, couldn't even lift it.
So they're inspired by a stupid gimmick novelty
By
song.
a novelty song about, like, basically, very England humor.
Yeah.
Like remember that channel on TV is like Channel 5 or something, always had the English shows on it.
Yes.
It reminded me of something like that, like the sense of humor. And it was like, Right Said Fred in the song, the story of the song was like, what, they had to move a piano or something was the story. They had to move a piano. So every verse was like, oh, now we took the legs off, and then we stopped for tea.
Yeah.
Right Said Fred. And it's just like the stupidest thing you've ever heard in your
It's
life.
really bad, but it's delightful.
Yeah. Anyway.
Listen.
Well, it's a good
as
rhyme.
much
It like sounds good though. That's a good rhyme too.
Yeah.
though.
Listen, as much as we're going to say some negative things as we get later into the career of Right Said Fred, I am not ashamed. Actually, I'm mildly ashamed. Say they have at least 2 other songs that I quite enjoyed when I was doing my deep dive
Okay.
into Right Said Fred.
All right.
And I have a feeling you'll know what both of them are when we get to that point of this episode. Because again, like you said, I like some dumb shit.
Yeah, it's true. So July 1991, of course, the biggest single, I'm Too Sexy, the debut single from Right Said Fred, was released on the independent London-based label Tug Records. And I thought it was pretty interesting that these guys at that point, they were already, well, at least the one guy was an established studio musician, but they already owned a gym together.
They owned a gym together, and we actually missed this kind of crazy factoid about them, was that prior to becoming Right Said Fred, they were in a different band called The Actors.
Right.
And that band toured with the band Suicide and supported Joy Division on a show.
Yeah, right.
Like that's, again, like they're playing with some pretty legit
Yeah,
but
they play with Joy Division on Ash Show.
Yeah,
Yeah, show. But still,
me
touring
and
with-
Chris
I mean,
play with At the Drive-In on Ash Show.
Well, look, for all you know, At the Drive-In still talking about that set.
Yeah, I'm sure they were. We were three-piece.
Yeah.
They probably loved him when he covered Christina Aguilera, What a Girl Wants or something.
No, we were a 4-piece by then.
Were we?
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Yeah,
but I do think we
wasn't
covered
there.
like Astro Zombies or something.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I wasn't there, but I refuse to believe that 3-piece Punchline could get a show with At the Drive-In.
I still
I've
think
listened to How to Get Kicked Out of a Mall.
I still think it may have been 3-piece, but I'll go with PJ on this one. But this song, I'm Too Sexy, was meant to make fun of certain users of the gym that the brothers, these guys are brothers, by the way.
Yes.
The Fairbrass brothers, that they owned. They already owned a gym at this point, and we're making this song to make fun of the guys who were jacked at the gym, and they were real sexy, I guess.
Well, this is funny. This goes down the road of like these guys are kind of funny when they make statements about things. But he was really one of them. I can't remember which one now. I was reading an article where he was upset that they didn't make a big deal out of Hep C when he was working at the gym, because basically guys would just line up and they would inject everybody with steroids, all with the same needle.
Yeah.
And he was mad that they were making such a big deal about how you could get AIDS from doing that, but not Hep C.
Yeah.
So like,
we'll get
it's
into
a wonderful statement
yeah,
he made
an
at one
early
point.
start to their downward spiral right there.
Wait, he was upset that
Hep C wasn't getting as much attention as AIDS.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, wait. I mean, I could have a point. No, you don't want to get that either.
No, you don't want to get anything. But
yeah,
I mean,
you don't want to get anything. But there's a thing about sharing needles in general.
That's just a general thing overall for all diseases.
You guys are going to start making me
no, we'll change the topic.
Yes, thank you.
This song was originally written. I thought that this was very interesting. Written as an indie rock song originally.
Yes,
and they shopped it around as an indie rock song, and it was one of the. After multiple rejections, they played it for one dude named Guy Holmes, and he was unimpressed with the song in the car. He was like, "This song sucks," but all of the people in his car kept singing the like, "I'm a model, you know what I mean?" Like they love that part, and that's when he went back to the band and he was like, "You should try to do this as a dance song instead." And then they remixed it to the version that we know now.
Right.
And clearly the correct call, because, I mean, this was huge in the UK. It spent 6 weeks at number 1. You know what song it couldn't beat on the UK charts?
Well, it would spend 6 weeks at number 2, you mean?
At number 2, it couldn't top. What song?
Everything I do it for you, Brian Adams.
Wasn't it just another recent episode where that song kept someone out of the number 1 spot?
Might have been. That song was a monster.
Yeah.
Robin Hood? Is that what it was from?
Yeah, it was Robin Hood, Prince
Yep.
of Thieves.
Yeah. Not Men in Tights.
No.
Which is the better Robin Hood movie of the 90s.
Sure.
Yeah. But the song did go to number 1 in the United States.
It did, and I've got some factoids about that.
So do I.
All right.
February 8th of 1992.
All right, well, let me check to make sure that that's what I have, too, since we found on our last one that I was
Is
incorrect.
this song pre or post RuPaul's Work It song?
Oh, this was either pre or the exact same time.
Okay.
So they're kind of going with the same kind of like...
Supermodel, I think, was 93.
Okay, well, this is pre that.
Yeah, this is pre that. So, yeah, it peaked at number 1. I have that, too, February 8th.
Yep.
It knocked out George Michael's and Elton John's Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me.
Great rendition.
And it sat there for 3 weeks until the previously mentioned Mr. Biggs To Be With You knocked it out of the number 1 spot. Wow. But I did write a couple of the noteworthy songs that were in there.
You better have that number 2 on there. You're in the Pittsburgh area. So
then you say, because I don't have the number 2 on here.
I love your smile, Shanice. A Pittsburgh girl at number 2. You weren't going to mention her?
I don't even know who that is.
You don't know who Shanice is?
Again, do I need to repeat I was 6 when this song was popular?
Yeah, but so what?
Do
you remember that there was the one kid, he lived on our floor in college, Chris? He was actually really into Shanice.
Really?
And he'd tell me that she had a better vocal range than Mariah Carey, which I don't know if that's true. If he was just a big Shanice fan. Yeah.
That sounds outrageous.
But it also sounds like a stretch that someone would be really into Shanice. in our college. I mean, I like her song. Really into her, I don't know.
Well, here's some of the songs I chose were noteworthy songs in the top 40. Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit was chilling at number 6.
Yeah, didn't we have this discussion before that you were saying like that song, it's surprising how like Nirvana was this huge band but they weren't really on the charts that much.
They had like 4 songs that ever hit the Billboard charts, and only 2 of them I think were top 40.
What's their biggest song? Heart Shaped Box?
No, it Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah.
But like I think like one of those 4 songs is the like You Know You're Right song from like years ago, and even that it peaked at like 87 or something.
Okay.
It wasn't very big. CeCe Peniston finally at number 9.
Finally, it's happened to me.
So this one's just for me.
Not CeCe Peniston, everybody. That is CeCe Peniston, who I have tried many times to get on Chris Makes a Podcast. She doesn't reply to my emails.
Calling her out.
Yep.
Well, if she's listening today,
yeah.
reply that email, CeCe.
I put this at 21. Number 21, Genesis, No Son of Mine.
I don't remember that song really.
I, for whatever reason, love that song. But the last one in the top 40 I wrote down was that Guns N' Roses cover of Live and Let Die was sitting at number 33.
Which
Yeah.
I mean, I
Not
like
a bad
that.
cover. It's not a
No.
bad cover.
I mean, I felt like you left out so many important ones,
Go
Matt.
with the important ones, and I'm going to talk about the debuts.
We
There
gotta
was 3 big debuts.
Yeah. We got to set the scene here a little bit. Diamonds and Pearls was sitting at number 4 at this time. All for Love from Color Me Bad, which that was not.
That was our follow-up single to Sex You Up, which it was okay. The guy with the long, curly, brown hair sang it with a real high voice.
Okay.
It was not as good as I Want to Sex You Up.
Yeah. To Be With You from Mr. Big was number 8. Remember the Time from Michael Jackson was sitting at
Great
number
video.
13.
It's a great video. Okay song to me.
I love. Are you kidding? At the bar, at the beach. That song's incredible. That's one of the best MJ songs. Are you kidding me? Get the fuck out of here.
Eddie Murphy and Magic Johnson.
Oh,
Who
they're both
else?
in that?
They're both in
Iman?
that. Oh yeah. No, we'll be
Iman?
talking about. We talked about that on the Eddie Murphy episode.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
right. Yeah. I love how terrible Eddie Murphy's music career is, but he has a song with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
What's up with you?
Yeah.
What's up? What's up? What's up with you?
Wasn't it just a black and white video with like animated peace signs floating
Well,
behind
yeah, it was
them?
like
Boy,
clouds.
was it.
Yeah.
They were in basically like a Windows 95 screensaver for an entire video.
wearing white tank tops, I think.
Also, few more I have to mention. Too Legit to Quit was at number 14.
Ooh.
Right back at 15, Black or White from Michael Jackson.
All right.
I can't believe you wouldn't mention this one, Matt. Adam's Groove from MC Hammer.
Hell yeah.
They do what they want to do, say what they
Oh,
want to say,
wow.
live how they want to live, play how they play. But
Hey,
Dance
don't
how
you
they
love
wanna
on
dance.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine how all of Jake's raps end up being about the Addams Family at some point?
That's so awesome. Set Adrift on Memory Bliss from PM Dawn was
Good
at
one.
22.
Good.
And the only other one I was going to mention was It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday from Boys to Men was
Good-ass
sitting at
song.
24. So pretty decent era for music.
All right. So I want to talk about the 3 songs, what I consider 3 noteworthy debuts. And I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up just because
Let's go.
there's more to say about the one that charted the highest. Van Halen Right Now
Oh,
debuted at 97.
okay.
Would you say it's the best Van Halen song? Or
I
no?
I think it's definitely the best. Actually, no, I don't even think it's the best song with Sammy Hagar on vocals.
Dreams is their best song.
I really like the song Humans Being that they wrote for Twister.
You know what Dreams is though, right?
Yeah, Dreams is really good.
That's what's the hook of that? I can't think of how it goes right now. I
My
know
Van
it's,
Hagar is not as strong as my Van Halen.
the Dreams is oh jeez.
All right, well,
Whatever.
Well, you try to remember. At 92, I love this song. Naughty by Nature's Everything's Gonna Be All Right.
Oh yeah, that is a good one.
Ghetto Bastard. Oh, it's a great song.
I forgot about that one.
That song
Oh
rules.
yeah, there was a lot of profanity in that.
Yeah. Is there.
That was a tough song for me to listen to when that came out because loudly in my house. Remember the opening skit with like the
doctor
and the nurse.
Just another ghetto bastard for the projects.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
oh,
a
wow.
shame, isn't it? Not a shame, a problem.
I forgot about that song.
That song's great.
Army with hominy. Oh,
And
wait,
then debuting at 81, one of the sappiest sad songs that we somehow slow danced to at school proms.
Oh boy,
Eric
Tears in
Clapton,
Heaven.
Tears in Heaven.
oh
in
my
heaven, baby.
God.
I love that picture of. I mean,
I just love that in a world where Eric Clapton's sad song to his dead child is just appearing on the charts.
Yeah.
At the top of the charts is Too Sexy
Yeah.
for My Shirt.
I just love picturing my middle school dances where to make it an extra level of sadness that a DJ is playing Tears in Heaven for middle school children to dance to, and I'm also not dancing with anybody. I'm sitting in the bleachers watching my classmates dance to Tears in Heaven. That's just a sad.
Did you ever dance with anyone in middle school dance?
No,
No?
I was too shy.
Hush, hush, eye to eye.
I tell you, one of my favorite people I ever danced with at middle school dances was Stephanie Orey.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember her. She was in my class.
Yes.
Older women for
That's
PJ.
right. That's right.
Yeah,
I remember
know.
we danced to Janet Jackson again.
Whoa, dang. PJ, take it easy over there.
I know, right? I still remember that to this day.
That's kind of a questionable song for them to be playing at a middle school dance.
They probably played Doomy at that dance too,
Yeah,
though.
right.
So I mean,
Backstage, underage, adolescent. How you do? That song's questionable as hell.
she replied that she likes to do the wild thing.
Yeah.
Action took place.
Hey,
But hey, didn't forget the Jimmy. Don't
Matt,
worry.
Matt doesn't know that song.
Bowie, Dylan, Marley. You've heard the names and maybe you've heard their songs, but what about the stories behind the records that made titans of music like these so universally loved and important? Join me, Josh Adam Myers, host of The 500, as each week I go through a different album from Rolling Stone magazine's 500 Greatest Albums list from 2012 with an incredible lineup of comedians, actors, and musicians talking about how the music has impacted their lives. New episodes of The 500 come out every Wednesday. Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everyone, this is Tuck from Fit for a King, an off-road minivan. Every week I bring you fun interviews alongside your favorite metalcore entertainers with my new podcast, Get Tucked. Join me every Monday with bands like Counterparts, Crystal Lake, like Moths to Flames, and many more. We play unsigned and undiscovered bands, deep dive into each artist's history, and of course provide the greatest breakdowns in current metalcore. Tune in to Get Tucked every Monday, out now through Sound Talent Media.
Are you a fan of young adult novels?
Have you ever wondered the stories behind the people who wrote your favorite young adult novels?
Then join author Eric J. Brown
And Alyssa Lube of Netflix's The Circle.
every other Tuesday on YAOK.
Available on all podcasting apps.
Woo!
So, Right Said Fred, Richard, came out as bisexual, in case you're curious.
I'm not personally curious, but I know what you mean.
He was until he came out.
Yeah, right. Now
his direct quote was that he appreciates young guys that look like girls and girls who look like pretty young guys.
And this is great. It's just surprising we haven't got there yet of where they went.
Where they went is truly baffling. The song, for those of you who, I don't know, maybe you're going, do I know this song? I don't know, maybe they don't.
Hey, was it any surprise that he was
not really
bi? Because, I mean, like, this is one of the gayest songs I've ever heard.
I would have assumed both guys were gay. In fact, if I didn't know they were brothers, I would have just assumed they were lovers.
A couple. Yeah. No, that was my
very similar looking lovers.
Leather pants and mesh shirts.
Yes. Yeah, until my research on this, I was positive that was the case for Right Said Fred. Man, they really leaned into the right part of that name. So if you're curious if you've ever heard the song I'm So Sexy, or I'm Too Sexy, maybe you've heard it in the over 40 TV shows and movies it appeared in, including The Simpsons and The West Wing.
Yeah, sure.
Now, they did have a second single that did absolute dog shit in America, obviously, but it did really well in the UK, called Don't Talk, Just Kiss.
Right.
Which made it
they
to
made
number
a video
3.
for that, too. There was a video on MTV for that.
The way he sings that is ridiculous and wild. I don't know if you know this song, but I will say it's not a bad song.
It's not a bad song, but Chris, do you know what the song is that I liked way more?
What's that? Deeply Dippy?
Deeply Dippy.
We were listening. Did you know when PJ got here, I had it on?
I didn't even catch that.
It was playing when PJ got here.
Yeah, Deeply Dippy, and then the next album they had the You're My Mate song, and I was like, these songs are great.
Yeah, I mean, they actually, after I'm very surprised that the songs after that, I mean, I guess they were still novelty-ish, but I would have thought they would have been even more. I would have thought they would have followed up I'm Too Sexy with like
I'm Still Too Sexy.
Yeah, or yeah, sure. Or
yes.
Check out my abs or something like that. Like, but they actually like were kind of legit.
I mean, they did. I think they always. Okay, so let's talk about the crazy. There's a crazy turn for them before the crazy turn we want to talk about, which is their song Wonder Man.
Oh, I don't know.
Did you check out Wonder Man?
No.
It is a song they wrote about Sonic the Hedgehog to promote Sonic the Hedgehog 3 on the Sega Genesis.
Wow.
Great subject matter.
Yeah.
And then
why would they pick them?
I don't know. And then it ended up on their album Fredheads.
So wait, what year did Sonic 3 come out? How long after I'm Too Sexy was this?
I'm going to say, I mean, I could Google it real quick, but I'm going to say this was probably 94, 95?
Sonic 3.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think when I had Sonic 1.
Sonic 3 came out in 94. So they were, they were still riding that high, at least maybe it was only for the UK they did that.
Okay.
That would make sense why they would, because the UK fucking loved these guys throughout the 90s.
Well, also Sonic the Hedgehog, they had Michael Jackson writing songs for Sonic the Hedgehog. Why would they have to go to Right Said Fred? They spent all their money on Michael Jackson.
They blew it all on Mike.
Ghost writing those amazing. Man, Sonic the Hedgehog had amazing songs in it.
It's crazy. I feel like I didn't understand this until recently. It's crazy how many songs Michael Jackson ghost wrote for like fictional characters, like Do the Bartman in Deep Deep Trouble for The Simpsons and stuff. Like he was just like penning songs for cartoon characters left and right in the 90s.
Did he also do Lisa, It's Your Birthday? Or is that
so the joke with that, so I've been listening to all the Simpsons commentary tracks to go to sleep. It's a great thing to listen to. So he voices the character, but he doesn't do the singing voice. He brought in a Michael Jackson impersonator that he was a fan of to sing the song because he wanted to play a prank on his brothers and see if they could tell the difference.
Oh, that's really funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he actually did the voice.
Yeah, he does the actual voice of the character, but it was like he was uncredited. He went uncredited. Like it doesn't say anybody's name for that character in the credits.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a good episode.
It is. It's a great episode.
I mean, it pretty much, if it's season 2 to 9, it's a good episode, but it's a good episode of The Simpsons.
All right. I'm surprised Right Said Fred, they are prolific.
Yeah.
They released 7 more albums from 1996 to 2017. They wrote and recorded the comic relief single Stick It Out, which was a top 5 hit in the UK and a bunch of European countries. That's from the album Sex and Travel. Sex and Travel had singles Bumped and Hands Up for Lovers. I listened to those songs. They're fine.
I mean, they got a songwriting credit on a Taylor Swift single.
I can't believe.
Which one?
Look What You Made Me Do.
I don't even know that song.
Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. I think it's
a bad song.
It's arguably one of her worst singles, but I think it was genuinely just to like, this sounds close enough, just pay them so that we don't have to worry about it down the line.
I guess I didn't listen back to the Taylor Swift song, but I don't know. Does she say I'm too sexy?
It's just the melody in which she says, "Look what you made me do," feels that I'm too sexy for my love. Look what you made me do.
Wow.
That seems like a stretch.
It definitely 1000% was a stretch, but I think it was right after that Katy Perry situation where like the random Christian rapper got a bunch of royalties off of Roar. I think it was, and then I think everyone just went into like, all right, let's just cover our asses. If it even remotely sounds like a somewhat popular song, just give them the songwriting credit so we don't have to deal with this later.
Damn, Punchline should have pursued that.
Oh my God, the fucking
it's so obvious.
What's that show called? Shimmer and Shine.
Shimmer and Shine.
Man, we should have pursued that Shimmer and Shine money.
I mean, is it too late?
Yeah,
probably.
Probably.
I think, unfortunately, Shimmer and Shine wasn't popular enough for you to get that much money out of them anyway.
I guess.
I have so many friends with kids, and I mentioned that, and they're like, never heard of it.
Yeah, right. Right. But this song being interpolated in, well, I don't know if that was intentional in Taylor Swift. I think they were probably just like, whatever. But also, there's a Drake song, like, from one of his recent, I mean, Drake's really gone downhill on his albums lately, but he has a song where the hook is "I'm too sexy."
Yeah,
like some mix of it. It's a bad song. It is not good. And also Beyonce has a song where she interpolates it, but they claimed, Right Said Fred did, that she didn't ask, and then she's like, "What are you talking about? Here's all the written paperwork. Like, we cleared this with your people beforehand." So I just don't know why so many people want to interpolate this song.
Well, so I want to throw one other thing while we're talking about their popularity at some point, because I just thought this was baffling. In 1992, a record label in the UK called Heavenly Records put out an EP that was just all of the bands on their label covering Right Said Fred songs for charity. Like, that's just to like paint a picture of like how popular this band actually was for a moment. Like, could you imagine? That would be like, no offense, but like a random like Fearless Records being like, this is our Punchline tribute album that we're putting out, everybody. It's all of your favorite Fearless record bands covering your favorite Punchline tunes, and be like, that's a weird band to choose.
I like that it comes out on Fearless.
Yeah, why not?
Hey, they put out every tribute album.
I just wonder what song Bigwig's gonna do.
Yeah, don't rule out that possibility. Fearless, if you're listening.
Yeah, I would listen. And before we get into the bad times, let's just talk about.
Think about one thing. I was just wanting to bring this up real quick. Sorry, Matt.
Go ahead.
How much money was made off of "I'm Too Sexy" T-shirts made at the beach?
God,
on the boardwalk.
They're probably still selling some right now.
And also, this song lent itself to be the easiest joke. It's just to have somebody dancing to it who might not be sexy by standard terms. You just have someone do that, and then you put "I'm Too Sexy," and everyone will think it's just darling.
The fact that Michael Myers in a fat bastard suit didn't sing this song in an Austin Powers movie is baffling.
Are you sure that didn't happen? That seems like that had to have happened.
No, he did Rod Stewart, "If You Want My Body."
Close enough.
Yeah.
But
wow, I didn't think about this song's kind of like the modern day that.
Yeah, that's 100% what it is.
Not modern day.
But
I mean
the 90s answer.
35 years ago.
So just a couple of the, sometimes our songs are up for debate. Is this a one-hit wonder? Is this not a one-hit wonder? This is definitively a one-hit wonder, and there's a lot of people that back us up on this. First off, though, NME ranked "I'm Too Sexy" as the number 15 single of the year in December of 1991. In 1993, the song was awarded the BMI's Pop Award in the category of most performed college radio song of 1992.
Really?
Yeah.
College radio was pumping "I'm Too Sexy"?
I feel like it would have been some REM album at that point.
But here we go. June 2007, it was voted 80 on VH1's 100 Greatest Songs of the 90s. In April of 2008, it was rated the 49th worst song ever from Blender.
Okay.
April 2011, it was voted number 2 on the greatest one-hit wonders of the 90s for VH1. 2017, BuzzFeed named it 90 on their 101 greatest dance songs from the 90s. And then lastly, in 2019, Billboard listed it as the 210th top song of the 90s. And then 4 years later, in 2023, Billboard ranked it as 470 of the best pop songs of all time.
Okay.
And
so it's got accolades.
Yeah.
Actually, I just I played this song. I got my son sitting here next to me, and I played it for him for the first time.
Wow, he'd never heard it before?
Over here. No, I think he'd seen it in movie or heard it, but never like actually just like this is the song.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know. You want to get his.
Yeah, what's your take on this song?
Teenage thoughts
on
what "I'm Too Sexy" is.
I love his teenage thoughts, and then I would like for each of us to say what our favorite "Too Sexy" lyric is in the song.
Joel, what are your thoughts on "I'm Too"? Your first reaction. You're like those kids that react on YouTube to the song.
Exactly what this is.
Yeah.
I did actually think it was a joke.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Which it kind of was, I guess.
I mean, it was, but at the same time, it was. But at the
same time,
popularity was not a joke at all. The money they made from it, and just, I mean, it was like the "You Can't Touch This" of that summer.
Yeah,
it
truly was.
I mean, it wasn't. Think about it this way: you made the joke about like, oh yeah, find the unsexiest person you could find and have them dance to this, and that's what. But the guys were like kind of jacked and like wearing sexy clothes.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't too much of a stretch that they were sexy guys, right? I mean, sure.
Yeah, no, I mean it made sense.
Yeah.
All right. So I want each of us to talk about our favorite "Too Sexy" line in the song.
I'm too sexy for my cat.
I had a feeling you were, and "I'm too sexy for my cat."
Yeah.
Poor pussy.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Filthy. How about you, PJ?
I love that they pushed the envelope a little bit with the pussy.
Yeah.
Pussy cat.
Right.
It's like the over sexualized part of the song that, like, since they throw cat over it, it's okay. But like, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what we're going. I'm going with cat.
And also too, I was bringing up, you can't use the word tush in a song.
Shake my little tush on the catwalk.
And it not be a joke.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing that he sings in this song, I agree that "Too Sexy for the Cat" is the funniest "Too Sexy," but I love "I'm too sexy for the party. No way, I'm disco dancing."
Yeah.
And then, of course, ending it with "I'm too sexy for this song. Hard stop."
Brilliant.
Actually, Yeah, my son brought that up, and he went, "That was a good ending, actually."
Yeah. Well, when they were in the studio, they were like, "Damn!"
Oh yeah.
Yeah, whatever that GIF is of like a battle rap where everyone's just like throwing their hands.
We should create that. We got to create that for our Instagram page.
Well, do you think they had that line planned out before they're like, all right, well, we have that one. Yeah. Think of some other stupid things that you could be sexier for.
They started there.
They worked backwards.
They worked backwards.
All right. Is it time to talk about how Right Said Fred really fucked up us ever giving them a chance as a band we're going to talk about positively from here on out?
You mean Reich Said Fred?
Yeah, Reich Said Fred.
Reich.
You mean Far Right Said Fred?
Alt-right.
Yeah, Alt-right Said Fred.
So let's see. I found at least 3 big things that were questionable for me. There's plenty more. Obviously, for starters, they were very anti the COVID vaccine, which is even crazier when I found out that Richard was hospitalized for COVID.
Yeah, of course he was. Of course he was.
Insane.
What are the odds of refusing to take a vaccine and then catching that thing?
They also were involved in handing leaflets for an anti-climate control activist group called Not Our Future.
Anti-climate I'm against I'm against what? What are you against?
Against the not against, you're against the environment, basically.
I'm against caring about the environment.
And then I feel like, there's some really rough ones that we're going to get into, but they are the first people that I've personally read about that are on Russia's side during the war in Ukraine. Just came out and was like, Putin knows what he's doing. Fuck those Ukrainians.
Wow.
Do they like Trump?
Probably.
They have to, right?
After everything I've just read.
Isn't Trump, in a way, on the Russia's side of that?
There has to, speaking of what we talked about earlier, there has to be a video of Trump dancing to this at one of his stupid rallies.
Guarantee he came out to it.
They would gladly allow him to do it. Every other artist is like, hey, man, you got to stop using my song.
Stop using my song.
He get a pass on that.
Yeah, he got the no from the Village People YMCA, so he moved over to Right Said Fred.
What's another real gay song that I can come on stage with?
Yeah, it's crazy. And then these guys, look at them on Twitter or I think it was Twitter, but Richard posted a meme that said, "No need for gas chambers when vaccines will do the job slowly and quietly, and nobody will ever know it's a Holocaust."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, they shared a live stream hosted by a prominent neo-Nazi. On the live stream was former leader of the KKK David Duke and white supremacist Jason Coney, however you say his name. And then after, someone came out and said, oh, they didn't.
That was an accident.
They didn't know it was happening, or it was an accident.
Big accident sharing that KKK. You guys might find this surprising. I've never accidentally shared a KKK live stream. Never done it. Never done it on the Punchline page.
No.
Never copy and paste error.
No. Never did. Oh, you know what else is funny? That they were against. Let me find this. This was really funny. Okay. They also tweeted, I think it's in England, they repurpose old phone booths to be defibrillators, hard word to say. To save somebody's life, these things that wouldn't be used for something in case there was an emergency. There's defibrillators where there were old.
Great idea.
Yeah, exactly. And
to everybody but Right Said Fred.
Well,
apparently.
Right Said Fred posted that and said, and wrote a picture of one and wrote, "Phone boxes refurbed into defibrillators. What a time to be alive," with an eye roll emoji. I don't understand. People grilled them. It was
safety.
Yeah, it was all these things of people screen capping it, and someone wrote, "I love the idea of your man from Right Said Fred keeling over in the street, and as people try to help him, he croaks, 'Get that woke shit away from me.'"
Well, that's
all these woke defibrillators.
There's that guy that I love on TikTok and Instagram. I always send you his shit, Brett, who does the fake Trump supporter videos in his car where he'll just rant and rave. Yeah. And he did one about Harrison, the dude who, I forgot, the football player who did the awful like anti-woman speech at the
no, Harrison Butker. Yeah, Butker.
And he's like, like he's got his right to believe whatever he wants. Like if he's having a heart attack, he could say, "I don't need no women doctors. Get them away from me."
Right.
Like, that's exactly what Right Said Fred's energy is right here with the like, oh, what defibrillators here to save lives, man. I am so like. The thing that makes me so frustrated, and I'm a person I'd like to believe is mostly calm, cool, and collected, is like when people are upset about a thing and there's no way for them to explain why they're upset beyond, well, that's just the way it used to be. Like, yeah, a lot of things used to be other things. Like,
yeah.
Like, what, you just want an old, rotting phone booth there just so you can remember that they used to be there? That's the better option.
But I mean, at least in the UK, they're red. I mean, they're kind of fancy. I also just don't understand whenever people who come, if he's bisexual, pansexual, whatever, comes from, basically a marginalized or persecuted group.
Exactly.
And then they side with these people who are doing the persecuting and marginalizing, like a Caitlyn Jenner or something like that.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense. What are you doing?
100%. Caitlyn Jenner's like the prime example. There was this moment in time where people were like, look, being trans is being normalized by Caitlyn Jenner, and then now everything's worse because of Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah,
everything's different when you're rich, though.
Yeah, oh boy, is it?
That's true. Yeah, Right Said Fred. Here's what I'll say about Right Said Fred is that I was surprised at them being more musically proficient and having a background, because I really thought they were just two guys that looked a certain way and kind of just almost sang over this novelty song. I was surprised to find out they're actually musicians and songwriters.
Yeah. Look, until we got into their recent past, I was, just from how much I enjoyed some of the songs, as dumb as they are, I was like, I might just be cheeky and give them a Thunder. I can't. I mean, look, I'm not sure if we're there just yet, but I'm going to just say that they're getting a blunder. They're pieces of shit.
Yeah. For sure. These guys absolutely suck. And we here at One Hit Thunder do not encourage listening to them. No. Even their hit, if you want to do a funny little dance.
Yeah. Listen, once they're dead and they're not getting those residuals, do all the I'm too sexy dances you want. But I can't justify them even getting the fraction of a penny from your joking, ironic TikTok or Spotify stream.
Yeah, these guys are really annoying.
Yeah.
And the song, I didn't like the song enough to begin with. It is so like this overplayed thing that I would be fine if I never heard for the rest of my life. It's like Baby Got Back. Like,
yeah,
nothing against him, but if I'm at a bar and a DJ puts on Baby Got Back, I'm just kind of like, ah.
You know what? I feel like when we did our Sir Mix-a-Lot episode, we walked away being like, I'd listen to most of Sir Mix-a-Lot's other songs if someone put it on.
Put them on the glass.
Put them on the glass, baby.
I'm only a fan of his project with the guys from Presidents of the United States.
God, I want to hear audio from that so fucking bad.
We got to get.
You got to hit up Chris. Get Chris.
I know.
Listen. You're like, listen, we won't play it anywhere. We just need to know what it sounds like.
I just want to know what this is.
Yes. But yeah, I'm going blunder on Right Said Fred.
PJ, are you going to certify this as blunder?
It's certified blunder. I mean, there's nothing to like about this song. I mean, okay.
The song.
No, okay. Let me walk that back a little bit. Objectively, it's hooky. There are things that you could like about it, but it's just a stupid joke song.
I don't know, but I will say that I do think for a joke song, the joke is funny. Like the joke of like, it starts off with a normal thing to be sexy about and it just gets increasingly more dumb. It works for like a minute bit on Mr. Show.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for a 4.5 minute long novelty song.
Yeah, that's way too long for this song.
Or however long it is. But
let me ask you guys though, I know we're about to go triple blunder here, but are we
Yes.
Are we not separating the art from the artist here?
100%.
I would say 100%, but also like
the music's not good enough to overcome it.
That's what I was going to say. It's like, it's different from like
Kanye.
Yeah, I can still listen to Kanye's first 3 or 4 albums. Like
I kind of have trouble separating the art from the artist with him, but I can openly admit, I think his his first like 4 albums are like amazing.
Yeah,
and
if you were asked to put together a list of the 50 best rap albums of all time, you wouldn't deny entry on any of those albums because of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a different situation with Right Said Fred.
Because it's just goofy nonsense.
Yeah, it's just goofy music. But they have been kind of prolific. They've made a lot of albums, and they didn't just fade into, like, at least they released music. They put stuff out. But yeah, the music's not good enough to overcome. Like, I would have been on the fence, or regardless of the things that happened later where they showed their true colors.
I was very serious when I said I would have cheekily given them a Thunder. Like, I like this dippity, like deeply dippity song. Like, that would be the extent of it. They don't have good songs.
For me, it's very much how like people like to talk about how good old Offspring was, and I'm like, I don't care. They put out Pretty Fly for a White Guy. That cancels anything they've ever done.
Yeah, see, and I'm like, they're great even after that.
Or I won't pay.
I'm in the
just whatever.
I'm in the minority on them too.
It's ruined everything you've ever done. I won't listen to anything they've ever done, even the stuff that's good.
Yeah, it's
fair,
rough. It's
fair.
rough.
I mean, I
Matt
can
don't want to hear
it.
it. Blunder.
Blunder.
This has been One Hit Thunder. One Hit Thunder is hosted by Chris Afalios of the band Punchline and produced by Matt Kelly of Geekscape.net. Underneath me, you're hearing Oh Sierra off of the Punchline album Thrilled. Visit punchlinemusic.com for any upcoming news on the band. Our podcast is on Patreon. Find us at patreon.com/OHT podcast for early access to episodes, bonus conversations, and a chance to vote on future songs for us to cover. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting app, and tune in next week for more One Hit Thunder.
Turn the magnifying glass backwards. Together we'll fall into a rabbit hole. Come out the other side. Oh, I wanna love you more deeply. I wanna love you to the core. Deeper than the ocean floor. Let me in that heart of yours. I wanna love you.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.
This is the story of Whitney Houston.
This is the story of Kurt Cobain.
Of George Michael, of Otis Redding, of Amy Winehouse, of Michael Hutchence, Bob Marley. This is the story of Prince.
It's a new podcast series
about how they died, why they died, and why we're still talking about them so long after.
It's like nothing you've ever heard before.
It's storytelling.
But it's more than that, because rock stars,
they tell us how we feel. They change our mood.
They change the clothes we wear, the people we hang out with,
the way we remember things.
It's them who give us those ludicrous moments, the ones where you're
jumping around, singing your heart out, feeling understood.
And it's those moments we'll help you remember, the ones you're thinking about right now.
That feeling.
That feeling.
It's coming soon from Crowd Network.
Just search for Death of a Rock Star on your podcast app.
And subscribe now.
Hey, this is Dewey Halpus, host of Peer Pleasure on the Sound Talent Media Podcast Network. Join me each week as I explore another long-form conversation with one of your favorite musicians, actors, comedians, or creatives. From Chino Moreno of the Deftones, John Gorley of Portugal the Man, to Fat Mike from NoFX and Ian MacKaye from Fugazi and Minor Threat, we go all over the map. From Fall Out Boy to Slayer, Peer Pleasure has it all. Check us out now on Sound Talent Media.